This is huge and has major implications for the Phoenix Suns as Josh Okogie shines out in his first big appearance for the Suns this season off the bench in a night where they had no Durant and no Bradley Beal, and he was the team's leading scorer. So how could he flourish and find himself a impactful role with this Suns team after he was looking like the odd man out on that third string before this game? We'll be diving into all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic, showing your love and support for Godfrey and I over on the channel. We're very, very appreciative. So thank you guys so much for hitting that like button, tuning in. You want to stay more up to date on this Suns team, continue to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, get us to 2,000 subscribers. Without further ado, though, let's dive into the video at hand. Make sure to grab a snack, and this is huge for Phoenix Suns fans around the world and Phoenix Suns fans in Phoenix as well. As Josh Okogie, man, looked absolutely perfect in the Suns game where they needed him most last night versus the Kings. And unfortunately, even though the Suns did lose, Kogi was very impactful, not just in the scoring sheet, but on the offensive rebounding as well, and being a key impact player and really finding a role for himself within this Suns team with them having some injuries. And that could be key for the Suns going into this season, trying to figure out who these guys are in these roles and who's really going to step up and deliver for the Suns to kind of figure out who they could ultimately move around the trade deadline. Because at this moment, we know this Suns team is a top tier contender. It is a big competitor in the Western Conference, but it is nowhere near perfect, and there are still some holes around our roster. So kind of figuring out those players that are going to stick and stand out. Players like Ryan Dunn, who have really emerged into this offense, have really shown that he can be that 3-and-D wing scorer. So looking at some other players, trying to find some other roles to move off of to guarantee the Suns have their best chance at winning that championship. That's the goal that Matt Ishbia, James Jones, Mike Budenholzer, and the whole team has set in front of us. But let's dive in and let's explore Josh Okogie, ladies and gentlemen, because like I mentioned, he was absolutely fantastic for the Phoenix Suns in last night's performance. Like we mentioned, coming off the bench for the Suns in just 28 minutes, he was 10 for 15 from the field, 3 for 4 from three-point range. But like I mentioned, 8 rebounds with 6 offensive being his career high, 2 steals, 1 assist, and 25 points for Josh Okogie. And this has been his statement game for the Suns here, and something that he would necessarily was needed by Suns fans. If we want to look at this tweet courtesy of Zin Varlock, we can see that when before this game, Josh Okogie was the lowest on the net rating for the Suns here at a negative 13, and that was very, very alarming. A player making $11 million, a player on that third string uh, set for the Suns so far to start the season was looking like he could be a tradable contract. And I won't lie to you guys, I thought after this game, after seeing this tweet, I was already gearing up to do a Josh Okogie possible trade video, kind of going into the implications on what that could bring in, some players the Suns could go out and get for him. But no, we are not going to be talking about that because Josh Okogie is staying in Phoenix. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, he is not going anywhere, and that is going to be key for the Suns' success so far this season. He worked perfectly alongside Ryan Dunn, situation you wouldn't think would be the best. But if we want to look at some of these tweets, like I mentioned, if you look at Gerald's, if you would have told me before the season start that Ryan Dunn and Josh Okogie as would be leading the Suns offense early in a shorthanded game like this, I would not have believed you. And I totally agree with Girth on this. I can't believe it. Mike Vigil also saying that Josh Okogie changed the game with Ryan's Dunn shooting, making it possible for them to share the court together. And that is exactly how it worked for this Phoenix Suns team. Okogie was able to be that scrappy defender, able to play his role of that guy for this team, while Ryan Dunn could be that shooter. And honestly, kind of going into the season, looking at Kogi, looking at Ryan Dunn, it was thought of, like, including myself from Suns fans, who's going to be the guy that's going to stick out? Who's going to be the guy that is going to stay for this Suns team? Not really necessarily can these guys work together, but one of them is going to emerge as that 3-and-D wing, and the other one's not going to. So who is it going to be? We all were hoping it would be done, and it looked like it was going to be done in that front line, but Okogie is also looking like he could be that guy and could even work alongside Ryan Dunn, which is key, and that kind of opens the question mark for some other players that could be traded. Possibly Grayson Allen, who's making around $15 million, is that stretch shooter off the bench. If we already have Okogie off the bench playing those roles, playing those impactful defenders and shooters, necessarily Grayson Allen isn't a piece that necessarily is needed for the Phoenix Suns. Yes, he's some additional three-point shooting, but wouldn't be a spot that is solidified for this team. Also looking in that big man group, we've seen Plumlee, we've seen Nurkic, we've seen also play. And there have been some talks about all three of those guys as well and what ultimately could bring. I know that's something for different, but Okogie has been looking really, really solid in this team, in this lineup. And Dwayne Ricken had some fantabulous quotes as well coming from Okogie, saying Josh Okogie says just being aggressive is what is going to get it for him. He was very, very happy on his performance. Obviously, a season high 25 points, career high 6 offensive rebounds. And he's saying, obviously, in teams in this league play different styles of basketball. The Suns are one of the better three-point shooting teams. Last night, they were one of the worst three-point shooting teams, absolutely abysmal from three-point range. The Kings were one of the worst three-point teams going into it. They shot lights out versus them. The Suns were one of the worst offensive rebounding teams and rebounding teams in the NBA. Tonight, they succeeded on the glass against a very, very solid interior presence and Yusuf Nurkic. So it's a little bit confusing, a little weird, but to see Okogie kind of show these flashes in these games is key, specifically when players like Durant, when players like Beal are out. You need those players to step up around Devin Booker. Now, unfortunately for Devin Booker, he didn't necessarily step up and deliver for that game, but he was getting double, triple, quadruple teamed, and that's not much to ask for. You want your other players to step up. Players like Ryan Dunn, Josh Okogie, even players like Royce O'Neal to kind of take that to alleviate that pain off of Devin Booker's shoulders of carrying the workload of the team and to kind of take some strengths into their own hands. And unfortunately, we saw that a lot with Dunn and with Okogie specifically last night. Another tweet that I want to break down as well from Suns Are Better is feels like Josh Okogie is really playing himself into the rotation tonight. A clear impact player in so many ways right now, and he now even from three gets this opportunity due to injuries, and now it's going to be real hard for Coach Bud to put him back on that third unit, and I couldn't agree more. When you look at this Suns roster, when you look at this Suns team, it is deep. And I know we've already experienced some injuries as the injury bug is still in Phoenix from last season. We've had Beal dealing with some stuff, resting up. We have Kevin Durant dealing with some calf issues as well. He'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Yusuf Nurkic has dealt with a finger, has dealt with an ankle, was playing on a sore ankle yesterday, it looked like, and just suited up and was ready to go. Ultimately, this Suns team is dealing with some injuries, but having Okogie kind of shine in this bright light is a major impact for the Suns. It can really showcase what this team can truly bring in this Western Conference. Like I said, they are a top team in this Western Conference, and having players like Okogie really shine in this moment is key. Can we see him do this next game? That is something to keep an eye on, but if Okogie keeps up this play, maintains not only being a solid defender, but can hit the three ball, can work in this system, can be able to get some nice dunks, facilitate with this team, and look like a key contributor off the bench, he will cement himself a rotational spot in this rotation. And then when the Suns get to the nitty gritty of it, when everybody's back healthy, that's when they're going to have to make some tough decisions, looking at some people and feeling who really works in Budenholzer's offense and who could be possibly dealt to bring in some additional help. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section on Josh Okogie. Like I mentioned, he's been absolutely fantastic for this Suns team, really blossoming in this game versus the Sacramento Kings. And I think this could be a major impact and a major implication for the Suns on what Josh Okogie can bring for this team throughout this season, not only just on the offensive side, but the defensive side as well. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. How do you guys feel? Do you think it was a fluke game? Do you think Josh Okogie is going to cement himself in this rotation? Drop your comments down. It is really, really appreciated. Once again, you guys have been absolutely fantastic at showing your love and support over on the channel. And we're super, super thankful over on Suns Digest for you guys breaking this all down. So thank you guys so much for coming at it and letting us know your comments. Once again, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, y'all.